This is the most insane free money glitches I have ever seen in my entire life. This trend is not new. We've seen it many times before where people were getting money in the thousands, in the millions of actual dollars. Whether it was Cash App or Robinhood, there's ways people have outsmarted. They haven't really outsmarted the system. They're gonna end up going to jail. But this specifically is a free money glitch. It's gone completely viral with 21 million views on Twitter and TikTok. It's crazy how many people are seeing it. People have reported cashing out tens of thousands of dollars for free. And here's the kicker. It's completely illegal. Yes, you should not do this. Under no circumstances should anyone attempt this. I'm talking about Chase Bank Infinite Money Glitch. Over the past few days, the trend has been circulating on Twitter and TikTok, resulting in coverage from dozens of news outlets and even the bank itself. This is a serious warning about what could happen once the exploit is fixed, like it was at Cash App and Robinhood. Believe me when I say that there is no such thing as free money, especially when dealing with large banks and the United States. There is free money if you watch my grant videos. Those are obviously free. But this is not. If you're curious about why this is a bad idea, how this was allowed to happen, and what happened to the people who tried withdrawing this so-called free money, here's everything you need to know. Just to be clear, this video is purely for entertainment purposes. I'm covering this newsworthy event as an example of what not to do. Essentially, here's why this is really, really a bad idea. But before we get into all that, welcome to the channel. Welcome back. If you're back, my name is Andrew. I'm here to help you get money, not like this. Leverage it, invest it. I can relate to where you are. Been broken, homeless, to multimillionaire, to deca-millionaire and beyond. Started 32 companies in 17 industries. Bought 17 companies, had 5 exits. Right now, I'm buying companies with you. Yep, if you got a 680 credit score and you know how to run a business, hit the link down below and we'll go in business. I'll put up the capital, you just need to run it. You'll own 81% for doing that and we'll go into business together. That's a baby boomer successful business. No startups. Also, don't forget to grab your $30 USDT free AI trading bot with Pinex. Here's a bonus. If you have new users and you make a deposit, make sure you click the link down below. Don't forget to grab your free stock down there as well. Plus, we got 10 different business loans that you can check out and 6 fix and flip and investor loans and bridge lending for real estate. So around the country, we make deals every single day. So make sure you check that out. Also, I'm in the World Championship Ironman and we're donating to the foundation to help them. They've got charities from food banks, over 10,000 different charities that they do. They got like a 98% rating and 4.8 stars on Trustpilot. So make sure you hit the link and donate to Ironman Foundation. It's nonprofit and it's a tax write-off. Plus, you'll be supporting me in the Ironman, which will be televised. You'll get to come and see me on television. Now let's dive into the video. The world of banking has seen a huge shift and more importantly, huge problems from people that are seeking advice on social media. Let's face it, if you're going to TikTok for your advice and Twitter, I don't know what to say, but we're gonna go to Chase. I wanna take you there. All of it begins with a simple concept, and that is a checking account over at Chase. One of the most basic levels, when you write a check or deposit a check into a bank account, your check is treated like an IOU from one financial institution to another. In many cases, it takes time to verify that check is really actually worth the amount that it's written on. After all, a check itself has no monetary value. It's not like you could write yourself a check for $100 million and claim it's worth the asking price of the mansion, right? To process transactions like this, banks need to confirm that there's actually money behind the check before they can cash it. This is where the fun begins. Once a check is cashed, banks typically make funds available within 1 to 5 business days, giving them time to certify that check, whether it's valid or not. Now, this means that the money can be transferred and you as a recipient are freely able to use that money. In fact, in the United States, federal law mandates that the first $225 must be available to use the next day. That's incredible. That's a mandate, whether they've actually been able to clear the check or not. The rest, however, depends on a system of checks and balances and, no pun intended, it makes sure that you're not depositing money that doesn't exist in your bank account. Now, here's where the problem actually starts. Initially, most banks don't know whether a check was cleared because at the end of each business day, all transactions are reorganized from highest to lowest priority. For example, cash withdrawals might be reported first, followed by debit card transactions, wire transfers, and ACH transactions, all prioritized from largest to smallest amounts of money. This is why a check might initially seem to clear for $1,000. But after the other person withdraws some of the money from the ATM and spends too much at Costco, their account could suddenly go negative, causing the check you deposited to bounce weeks later, even though it seems fine at first. There are plenty of other reasons that seemingly good checks might bounce a week later, such as a person claiming they were a victim of fraud, an irregular signature, or other issues not worth diving into right here. The point is, here's a gray area where the bank gives access to money before it confirms that the check is 100% good. They give you money before they know that there is even money there. Usually this is why you have to wait before withdrawing money that was deposited. Transactions are often stalled on the weekends and holidays, and if you have a new account, you might have more restrictions than someone who's been banking for years. In 99.9% of the cases, everything is fine and there are no issues. But in this case, everything went wrong. Typically, when you deposit a check, the money becomes available within 1 to 5 business days. But one person discovered when they deposited a check within the Chase Bank ATM, the full amount was available immediately. That's when things got really crazy. For some people, this exploit was posted on TikTok, and within hours, people were writing themselves fake checks, writing their own checks, and getting instant advances for the entire amount, calling it the Chase Bank infinite money glitch, while encouraging others to do the same. You can't make this stuff up. Check fraud has increased 385% nationwide since COVID-19's pandemic, and make no mistake, this is check fraud in every sense of the word. People were knowingly writing checks, fake checks, and to make it worse, they were committing a felony against themselves. Not to mention the fact they posted what they were doing on social media. Like, when you go to court, isn't that evidence? Just think about it. These people are writing a check in their own name, depositing it into their own bank account, and then withdrawing the money and doing it on video. It's literally filming their crime and posting it publicly. You'd think they would know that it's illegal and stealing money from the bank wouldn't go without severe consequences. Like, the bank owns this country. Come on, they got more lobbyists than any other industry. But as for what's happening to those who use the infinite money glitch and what Chase Bank has said about it, they're going to want to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Just as you'd expect, once the glitch was patched, TikTok users began posting about the enormous sums of money that they now owe the bank with massive negative account balances. Yep, their account went negative because in no way would Chase Bank let people just keep the money. Let's break it down. If you're convicted of wire fraud, you could spend up to 20 years in federal prison and owe a penalty of $250,000. If you commit wire fraud against a financial institution like a bank, you could be in prison for up to 30 years and owe over $1 million in fines. Not to mention, if you have several times, like you have 3 counts of wire fraud. Even worse, right? In response to all this, Chase Bank recently said, "We are aware of the incident and it has been addressed. Regardless of what you see online, depositing a fraudulent check and withdrawing funds from an account is fraud, plain and simple." Since then, Chase has fixed the bug and reportedly combing through these systems to retrieve their money, but they're not the only ones with the problem. There's 2 other places that had a problem that I'm going to cover. Some people who took advantage of them now say their banks are locked, pending transactions and shown as deductions, and negative account balances are being displayed. As for how other infinite money glitches have played out in the past, the results have always been really, really bad for the customers. Just take a look at what happened last year with the Cash App infinite money glitch. Back then, Cash App users discovered that during a update, they could add unlimited funds to the Cash App balance without those funds being pulled from their bank account. Even though they couldn't withdraw the funds in cash, they could make payments on online retailers, pay bills, all kinds of stuff. And that's what they did. Once users reportedly spent as much as $40,000, this is one user on Cash App, they reconciled the account and demanded the money back. Of course, right? Now, according to their terms of service, after 45 days of an overdrawn account, Cash App will begin steps to retrieve the money. This is probably not going to be pretty, right? They might contact you or take legal action to collect that money. Of course, right? Now, then there's the fake check scam that's been around forever. Whether someone sends you a check for more than what's owed, asking you to send it back the difference, and then after a week or two, the check bounces. The bank claws back that money and it's not available. And you think that you have the amount, but now it's no longer there and they can't recover it. Now you have no funds. Now, some people might have remembered the Robinhood infinite money glitch in 2019. Back then, one of the users posted on Wall Street Bets about how he was able to borrow an infinite amount of money by purchasing call options, selling those call options, and then borrowing against those purchases as many times as he wanted. Basically, grabbing something, saying you have it, and selling against it. Buying a car, but you don't really have the car, and then borrowing against the car. Yeah, something else. Essentially, he turned $33,000 into $1.7 million investment portfolio within a day. This is plenty of other that have followed the lead in doing the exact same thing after he did it. Anyway, what happened with Chase Bank is just another unfortunate trend that people think they're smarter than the system, and of course, it never works out well.
All right, so let's go see if this glitch is actually still happening. I got a Chase just down the street. Let's go see. It's getting more expensive. Imagine they have free checking accounts. Free checking accounts. They don't even charge you for a checking account. And on top of that, people are taking money out that's not theirs. And they're a bank, they're a business, just trying to make money off of lending and providing services to us. So eventually, all this fraud, we all collectively will have to pay. So here we go. Chase is right there. I can see the parking lot. I went and talked to the bank. I obviously have a bunch of accounts here at Chase. And in talking to the actual bankers, first of all, there was no line at the ATM. And I asked some people from the ATM whether they'd heard anything about it. They said no. And I talked to all the bankers, and I'm only the second person. And they've had no memos or anything inside the bank about anything really happening like this. So was this video just to get views? Because they got 21 million views. So again, don't do this. According to Chase, nobody at this branch has heard of it. And I'm in Las Vegas, and they've had only one other person. And they don't even have a memo that says that they've had any fraud.
When approximately 80% of young adults seek financial advice from social media, 80% use the social media platform, it's no wonder why things like this can happen so quickly and go viral. But overall, I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are on this. What do you think about the Chase Infinite Money glitch? Would you do something like this? Because the answer should be a big, fat no. On a more positive note, if you're looking for a much needed, sustainable, and honest way to make money online, I'd recommend checking out the Side Hustles playlist at the end of this. Also, buying some real estate and fixing it. You can a lot of times double your money, especially when you use us as a lending partner. We have no cap on our credit line, so we can buy as much real estate with you as you can make offers. You never know what might happen, and if you're able to grow it, and you could do quite well for yourself over time. If you're interested in just starting, growing, and buying your own business, feel free to check out my community. Link is below. The Origin of Opportunity, I'd love to see you there to be part of the community on our coaching calls and to be in proximity of people making deals. That's the Origin of Opportunity down below. Otherwise, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps out for the YouTube algorithm. And smash the like button like it owes you money. That's the Infinite Money glitch. I'm Andrew Cartwright. Love you.